Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect. This lesson is just going into, I've seen an article pop up across my feed, I believe yesterday, and I'm just going into that because, DJT, who we believe is Nero in the reincarnation, he's a madman, has just announced, a Golden Dome project. Basically, I'll just play the video, let it go out, and I'm going to go into an article and let it, Lord willing, this will be edifying.
President Trump has announced plans for the Golden Dome missile defense system, a $175 billion project to protect the United States from potential threats.
KTLA Samantha Cortese is live in our newsroom with details. Sam?
Micah and Sandra, the system is designed to stop an attack before it reaches U.S. soil. And despite a hefty price tag, the president says he has bipartisan support.
This is very important for the success and even survival of our country.
From the Oval Office, President Trump announced plans for the Golden Dome, an advanced weapons defense shield covering the entire United States.
It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans.
The president was joined by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and other congressional leaders whose states will be involved in the construction of the project, which they say will be entirely made in America. They'll use thousands of satellites along with land, sea, and space-based sensors.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
Space Force Vice Chief of Operations General Michael Gutlein will lead the project. He emphasized how quickly our adversaries are advancing their military capabilities.
Building out hypersonic missiles capable of attacking the United States within an hour and traveling at 6,000 miles an hour. Building cruise missiles that can navigate around our radar and our defenses. Building submarines that can sneak up on our shores. And worse yet, building space weapons.
The massive undertaking is inspired by Israel's Iron Dome.
You see what we've done helping Israel with that. You probably wouldn't have an Israel.
But the United States is roughly 450 times larger than Israel, and the cost to create our own version will be exponentially larger as well. $25 billion has been carved out of next year's defense budget for this system. The president said it will cost $175 billion over 20 years, though the Congressional Budget Office estimates it could cost as much as $500 billion.
Some funding is tough and some is easy. When we say we're going to save everyone's lives in a crazy world, it seems to be very easy to get.
Dr. William Fortune is a military history and technology specialist who has provided guidance to federal, state, and local governments on the importance of preparedness. He says the asset is priceless for the sake of American safety.
It's worth every single dime because one such strike could cripple us for years, costing hundreds of billions of dollars. An insurance policy we definitely need.
The president also said Canada is in talks with the U.S. to be part of the Golden Dome project and its protections. In the newsroom, Samantha Cortese, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, so you've seen it. I'm just gonna go to the scripture real quick. This is there's a couple of scriptures came to mind, but I'm Lord willing, I can remember it. This is Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So I'm gonna continue reading. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and this is the point. The wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai abhorreth. So he's boasting himself of his desires. He's saying, I want to rule forever. So I'm gonna build this golden dome. It's gonna protect, America, Babylon the Great. It's gonna protect us, and we're gonna continue to rule forever in case there's any kind of threats, submarine, hypersonic missiles, whatever. It's gonna stop everything, and we're gonna be allowed to prosper. Which, hey, this man is full of himself. But, again in verse 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And who is that? The Israelites. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All this stuff that's being built up is for this NWO is really to keep you in a prison. This is what this devil is really designing. you know, from the MOTB, his new monetary system that's coming. That's all to keep track of you. All these satellites everywhere, drones, everything. This is all to keep you in a box. You can't do nothing without him. You can't do nothing without his permission. You know, but going to this weapon that's being designed, hey, this is gonna fall on his own head. And I wanted to title this lesson, spoiler alert, you know, you lose, or something along that line. Because hey, the scriptures already have it written out, the end of the wicked. You know, they ultimately, this place goes down in a blaze. And let me because let me get this before I go further. I believe this is in Job, the 20th chapter. Oh no, what was I thinking of? Oh, when he's about to fill his belly. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So they're building this up for their safety. And whenever they, in this article I have here, this is from Sky News. It says, you know, Trump announces Golden Dome defense project confirming U.S. plans to put weapons in space. And ultimately, they're doing all this so they can fight against Yahushua and the angels. You know, they're putting this up, you know, they want to, you know, be able to, well, really multifold. They want to be able to defend themselves against other countries. But ultimately, this is going to be a showdown between all the armies of the world and the angels. Yahushua being at the head. So the U.S. president said the project inspired by Israel's Iron Dome will cost around $175 billion, which is going to cost way more than that. That ain't nothing. That's just to get the idea. But anyway, let me see here. The cutting-edge missile defense system will include space-based sensors and interceptors, Mr. Trump said, adding the Golden Dome should be fully operational by the end of my term. So that should also tell you another thing. Hey, well, he also said that there's probably not going to be another president after him. So he might be running continually, you know, but anyway, by the end of his term. So if you're looking at that, by the end of 3 years, next 3-4 years, hey, this is going to be up and running. So, you know, they're boasting themselves of their heart's desire, but he's looking to get this done quick. And also this devil, you know, it says in the scriptures that he knows he has like a little time. But before I go too far, I was looking at I'll read that one more time because what I was thinking of was let me get that real quick because I was thinking that. Job chapter 20. And I'll start at verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. So the fullness, when he's at his peak, which is getting ready to reach, he think he's got it all figured out. Everything is falling into place. You know, he thinks his plan is all coming together. Well, as soon as that moment hits, it's going to be bad times for him. He's going to, all the shit's going to go wrong. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And that's every hand. The wicked here is H6001 Imal, and it means laborer. So all the people that this whore, Babylon the Great, has used, they're going to come up against this whore. You know, as it says, everybody that has nuclear missiles, nuclear arms, they're all going to shoot their arrows on this whore. So every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he thinks, because he's got You know, this NWO that he's building up, the MOTB, all this stuff, and his plans for the New World Order. He's gonna rule forever. He's putting himself up as God. He thinks he thinks he's gonna succeed. The Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, has put it in his mind that you can do this, even though all the evidence, you know, which in the scriptures points contrary. You know, the prophecies say you're gonna lose, but you have it in your mind that you're gonna win. So when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So that iron weapon and that bow of steel is the ICBMs. That's gonna destroy him. This is his destruction that's coming upon him. And I was gonna read Revelation 13:11, but you know, the moment, you know what? I'll read. I'll get it, because this is dealing with, you know, this Babylon the Great that rose up. At Revelation 13 and verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. So the government system, you know, you have the Republicans and the Democrats, which goes back to the plebeians and patricians, if I have that right, or Republicans and patricians, which going back to the ancient Greeks, you know, the two-party system. And spake as a dragon. So going into his, even though he comes off like he comes off like a lamb, like he's docile, not gonna hurt you, he's on your side, but the way he speaks, the way he carries out his actions, he's a dragon. You know, he's harsh punishments, harsh penalties, like Draco, a harsh penalty, a death. You know, throwing you in prison indefinitely. Look at him speaking as a dragon right now. He's deporting people left and right, building prisons in foreign lands, sending so-called criminals to foreign prisons with no due process, nothing like that, just shipping them off. And eventually it's going to come down to a verse 16, or I believe it's 15, all that don't worship the beast and his image, which is that revived Roman Empire, to be put to death. So I'm going to jump down to verse 14, because this devil has the power. He has the power to make this image come to life. He has the power to perform miracles. Verse 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. Oh, hold on, let me start at verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So he's able to, he has direct energy weapons. He has control of the weather. He missiles, and able to rain fire down. Why this nigga always park in front? Anyway, he's able to rain fire down from the heavens. So he has the power through his technology of a god. So who can really mess with him? I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit. In verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Matter of fact, where was it? Salaki, I think it was up a little bit. Oh, Salaki, I read the wrong verse. This is Revelation 13 and verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which had power, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Because he has power to make fire rain down from heaven. He has power of military. And who's really can mess with him? You know, you so-called, you know, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you think you bought some guns or whatever like that you can really mess with them. You can form together like a militia and do some push-ups in the park and all that shit. But this devil, he has direct energy weapons. He has what are those called? Like crowd control devices, microwave weaponry. Missiles, drones, robot dogs. Who can? And now he's boasting to build a golden dome. So it's like who can mess with him? Who can make war with him? Who can come up against him? But like I said, spoiler alert, you lose in the end. I'm going to Isaiah 34. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. So this message is going out worldwide. This is to everybody. The Israelites, the heathen nations. This message is going out. Jeremiah 28 and 28, or 28. Let me get it real quick. Jeremiah 28 and 8. Jeremiah 28 and verse 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And this is no different today. This is what's coming. War, evil, pestilence. And that ultimate pestilence, and that's coming, is the ICBMs. So this is for everybody, because everybody ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh, I didn't know." When this destruction happens, it's gonna be known. It's gonna be known who said it and who sent them. Who said it? The prophets, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and who sent them? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So Isaiah 34 and verse 2, for the indignation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. So this is the end. This is it. All your armies, y'all gonna be destroyed. Y'all are ready for destruction. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has a righteous anger towards all of you, but this destruction is coming. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come upon. Let me read that one more time. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. So there's going to be a lot of killing. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fig falling from the fig tree. So this is describing the mushroom clouds, and the how the ICBM is going to fall. It's going to be like a fig falling from a tree. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And so the sword, being the ICBMs, it's going to be bathed in heaven, meaning it's going to go into the atmosphere. It's going to dip into the heavens. And it shall come down upon Idumea. So Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, which is Esau, which is today they're known as the so-called white people. And this is the land. Babylon the Great is their main place where they're at. This judgment is coming upon Babylon the Great. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and that's also, being bathed, being saturated. This is Esau's heaven right here. This is his kingdom. And shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys, rams. For Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So it don't matter, you building this golden dome, it's going to stop all the hypersonic missiles, all this stuff. It ain't going to stop nothing. It ain't even going to work. because your judgment is written. It didn't say Idumea had a protection. No, y'all are getting wiped out. There's a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. This is Joel chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of thick clouds as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So this is speaking of the ICBMs, which was ironically, funny that it's created by that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai used Esau Edom to create these ICBMs, to create nuclear weapons, because his blessing is the sword. His blessing is the sword. He would get the fatness of the earth through that blessing. But then he created that smith, that scientist, the modern day scientist, to create these weapons that are going to be used on themselves. So he created these weapons, and Esau Edom used these weapons to boast himself, to make it to where nobody can mess with him. Nobody wanted to mess with him, or else they get nuked. But guess what? These things are going to be used against you. The things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai used you to create are going to be for your own demise. So a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So after this destruction comes, there ain't going to be no more need for nukes. This kind of weaponry is going to be gone. Matter of fact, after all this happens, there's going to be peace. The nations aren't going to learn war anymore. Verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. So a fire before them, entering into the atmosphere. The stuff catches on fire. And then after them, that's a destroying wind, incinerating flames. You read breaking down the very elements, reading in 2 Peter chapter 3. And the land is at the Garden of Eden before them. So this land here, even though this devil has pretty much destroyed the environment, but given the comparison, this is like a paradise in comparison what it's going to be. Because afterward, it's going to be a wasteland. Nothing is going to grow here. Only unclean animals are going to be here. People aren't going to dwell here. This place is going to be done completely. It says in Isaiah, the line of confusion is going to be spread out. Isaiah the 34th chapter. Matter of fact, I had that. Isaiah 34, let me see, 13. I'm sorry, 34 and verse 12 of 11. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start up a bit. Verse 9, Isaiah 34 and verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So it's going to be done for, gone. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. He shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. So the line of confusion, you're not going to be able to tell, Texas from any other state. It's going to be a complete wilderness, coast to coast. You're not going to be able to tell New York from LA, none of that stuff. The Rocky Mountains, Mount Rushmore, the Mississippi River, it's going to be done, wasted. Nothing's going to be here. So again, the Joel chapter 2 and verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. So these are going to be in formation. They're going to be coming all at once. All the missiles coming at once. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. as a strong people set in battle array. Before their faces, before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. It says there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So people going to see this coming. They didn't listen to the prophets. They didn't believe this day would ever come. They thought that the nukes, the missiles, the ICBMs were just going to be sitting in museums. No, these things were made for judgment. So when you see this thing coming, when you see the Golden Dome failed, you hear the missile sirens going off. Hey, by the time you hear that, it's already too late. Those hypersonic missiles, those get here in about 15 minutes. And that's if they're launched, depending on where they're launched. If they're launched closer, say from a submarine just off the coast, and that's even quicker. You got even less time. So, this place is going to go out with a big bang. And when you see those missiles, it's already too late. Where are you going to go? Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So he has interceptors and all this kind of stuff to try to stop the missiles. Hey, this ain't going to stop them. This has the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai on it. You're not going to stop it. They're not going to hit each other. They're not going to misfire. Not going to be intercepted. None of that. Every one of them is going to hit. So they're going to destroy it. This place is set for destruction. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, and I'll start at verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded, who is at Britain. She that bare you, because this America sprang up out of Britain. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Now, Babylon, that's modern day Iraq. People still live there. People are still there. But this is speaking of modern, spiritual Babylon. The daughter of Babylon. Mystery Babylon. Spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt. This is this place, America. Everybody's going to see this place get destroyed. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend a bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So all the nations that have arrows or nuclear weapons, they're all going to shoot their arms. They're all going to shoot at Babylon the Great. And they're going to use their entire arsenal. Matter of fact, because I was looking at where I can use this, I'll just use it right now. Because it says the Iron Dome fails. And I just put that in. And it's all these different, videos about the Iron Dome failing. And it's been failing lately. Missiles been getting through. I believe it started with Iran, then those people in Yemen, maybe in Lebanon, I can't remember. But the missiles been getting through. That thing's been failing. Like, it don't work. So they're designing, Babylon the Great, they're designing this off of something that don't work. It can be overwhelmed. It ain't gonna stop all this. But the point being, it's not gonna work. Spoiler alert, you lose. That's it for that. Let's see. And I remember the apostles in their street speaking, a lady had walked by and asked how they were going to get saved out of this. Which really how we're going to get saved out of it. Lord willing, I'm not out of part of that number. But this is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And this is happening during the destruction of Babylon the Great. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So that come out of her, my people, this isn't, saying like Micah 2:10. This land is polluted; it will destroy you. Yeah, but that's speaking mentally. This here is literally the elect being beamed up out of here. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai have remembered her iniquities." So they're being, the elect are being carried up out of this destruction. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So she's saying, I'm gonna be here forever. Ain't nothing bad ever gonna happen to me. Hey, well, what's getting ready to happen to you? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, who judgeth her. So hey, she's gonna get burned with fire. Those ICBMs. This is the destruction that's coming. And I'm gonna close out with this, because it come out of her, my people. The Israelites are gonna be beamed up. We're gonna be with Yahushai. And this is Isaiah 26:20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, which is the chariots, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. So this is the elect being beamed into the chariots, being carried out of the way, being protected from the destruction. The indignation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai be overpassed. For behold, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. So the elect are going to be protected. They're going to go up into the chariots. Meanwhile, Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, utterly burned with fire. And so, again, spoiler alert, you lose, Esau. So, hey, shalom.